What's going on, guys? Welcome to your 13th Photoshop tutorial, and in this video I want to talk to you guys about the elliptical marquee tool, and I also want to show you guys a few shortcuts that you can use whenever you're working with any selection tool. Now before I get to that, what I did is I opened up a picture of my friend Dom right here. I actually stole it off of his Twitter. So it looks like Dom just pounded a bottle of Aftershock, so he's probably feeling pretty good right now. And actually, if you guys want to know the truth, it's 3:30 in the morning, and I didn't want to wake him up, so he doesn't even know that I'm using his picture in this Photoshop tutorial. But he's gonna wake up, and hopefully he'll be cool with it. If not, gonna get some angry text in the morning. No big deal. So here's Dom right now, and the important thing is, in order to use the elliptical marquee tool, it's right by the rectangular one. It's the little one with a little oval with the dotted lines. So go ahead and select that. And of course, whenever you start playing with it at first, it's pretty much the same as the rectangular. You got the normal, new selection, and you also got your add, subtract, and intersect. So add to that selection. So it looks like, I don't know, a weird pond. That's what it reminds me of. What does this selection remind you of? That's one of those tests that they use to test crazy people. But anyways, I'm getting kind of sidetracked here. Your wow, this is looking really weird now. Your add, subtract, intersect, all that stuff. We already know that from before. We don't need to cover that. But what I do want to talk about, and I'm going to hold it on Control D, make that D selection, is the first shortcut I want to talk to you guys about is holding down the Shift key whenever you're using this selection tool or the rectangular selection tool. So unlike before, where you can basically make any shape oval, long, tall, perfect, what you can do is if you hold down the Shift key, it automatically snaps to a perfect circle. So if you always are trying to make a perfect circle and your dexterity is just off by a little bit, you can cheat by holding down the Shift key on your keyboard. So just go ahead and release your mouse and then release your Shift, and bam, you got a perfectly circle selection. So then we can go ahead and do something like cut that out and cut Dom out of the image. But if you hold Control Z, it's going to pop. Control D, we're back to normal. So after that, as you can see, whenever I made that selection and I cut it, you notice that it didn't cut in a nice crisp line. That's because I was messing around with this before and I changed this setting right here. This is called feather, and what it does is it pretty much does exactly that. Feathers out the edge, or some people may call it a gradient. So it doesn't select a nice crisp circle, it actually fades your selection a little bit. Now, if you do want a nice crisp circle, then you're going to want to set that feather to 0. What this does is it gives you a nice hard edge. So now let me go ahead and select this and cut it and check it out. There's your nice hard edge, and that's actually a default. What I did is I actually changed that to 20 before, but well, the important thing is that's what feather is. Feather, gradient, tomato, tomato. Now, another cool thing I want to tell you guys is how to select the inverse of a selection. The inverse of a selection. What the heck does that mean? Well, go ahead and make a new selection and say that we want to cut everything out of the image except, Dom's face. So what we can do is we can hold Shift and make a perfect circle around Dom's face right here. And let me just go ahead and do this. Okay, right there. Now, like I said, we want to keep Dom's face in here. So if we go ahead and cut this right now, well, that has the opposite effect. So let's go ahead and step backward. And what we need to do is we need to select everything except this selection right here. So in order to do that, what we need to do is go to Select Inverse. Now, whenever we click this, what it's going to do is it's going to look at your selection, see what's selected, and then say, you know what? That's what I'm going to not select. I'm going to select everything but that. So now, even though it looks like there's a dotted line and this is still selected, what this is actually saying is, you know what? All of this stuff is selected around here. So now if we go ahead and cut it, check it out. Dom's face remains and everything outside it is cut from the image. Pretty freaking sweet, huh? So again, that's select inversed, or excuse me, inversed. What the heck is that? So now let me just go ahead, and I probably messed this up. So I'm just going to go ahead and open it again. Where are you at, Dom? There you go. So the last thing that I want to talk to you guys about is just a real quick shortcut. Probably could have talked about this before, but if you have your selection tool and you just have all your defaults, normal, new selection, of course, look what's going on whenever I select this. It starts wherever I click and it ends up basically where my ending cursor is. But some people prefer an alternative type of selection, and how conveniently, if you hold down the Alt button, think of this as alternative. You see how that connects in your brain? Hold down Alt on your keyboard and click and drag. And now you can see your selection is no longer starting where you clicked and ending up where you let go, but it's moving in a circle from the center out. So if you want to make a selection and you want the center of the selection to be Dom's nose or something, hover over Dom's nose, hold down Alt on your keyboard, and drag out. Now, however you make your shape, the center is always going to be Dom's nose. So let's go ahead and just select the inverse of that, edit, cut, and bam. This is our final beautiful picture of Dom wasted after drinking a bottle of Aftershock. Nonetheless, thank you, Dom, and thank you for everyone else for making this tutorial possible. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I have to go let my dog out to pee before he poops and pees on my rug. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.